So what's going on with that kind of, it's not a field, but something that people are working on. So basically, I mean, this is supposed to be my icebreaker, but it's very lame. So, but you know, this summarizes what people are trying to do pretty much. So ideally, a doctor will be able to look at a patient's medical images, just like a teenager checking photos in Facebook with his phone as he walks from one place to another. So this has to do something to do also with image retrieval, but not in the sense that he was explaining. Xinpeng was explaining to us how computers can nowadays look for images. You show them an image, and then they extract some characteristics of the image, and then find other similar images, right? Well, in this case, it's more like you say, I want this image. So in this case, it's easier than that, right? Because we're not, trying to search. Here's an example image. It's just an image of an MRI, image of a cross section of the brain. So there's a lot of images. There could be images of the lungs, images of the retina. Doctors have a lot of different images that they're interested in looking at. So why is it not like in Facebook? You can look at your photos and post comments and all of that really easily, very confident. How come doctors do not use this type of technology in their cell phones that much? Well, the main problem is that the law specifies some things that you have to do that have to do with security. So, for example, security of medical data. So, for example, if you're allergic to peanut butter, something like that, maybe you don't want other people to know for some reason, so they don't kill you, I don't know. So, but for an engineer, it's not like we're not interested in that. We're interested in just complying, with what the law says, right? When you design the system. So, a HIPAA covered entity is an entity that has to be HIPAA compliant, right? HIPAA is it's the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, which is the law that specifies how to deal with private medical data. Right? So when you say that something is HIPAA compliant, you're not talking about a system, a server, or a program. You're talking about a hospital or some sort of institution, health providing institution. And what are the consequences if you don't deal with, this, as an engineer, if you don't deal with this law? The consequences are, well, monetary penalties for the hospital, a lot of costs for like a corrective action plans. So if some information about a patient leaks, or a lot of patients, they complain to the government, and then the government comes and says, okay, well, we're gonna give you a fine, or something like that, and you lose your reputation and all of that. So it is estimated that between 2008 and 2018, the cost to the healthcare industry of this type of problems will be between $12 and $42 billion. And this law is enforced by the Office of Civil Rights in the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. So basically that's why doctors cannot easily look at images from their patients in the phones, right? But engineers are trying to find ways to deal with this. And basically the images are stored in servers, and you can access them through a network, but you have to find ways to protect the data, right? What kind of images? I already showed you one. Some of them have to do with radiography. Some of them are 3D images, that they take 3D images of your body, your brain, whatever. Ultrasound. So now on the engineering side, right, how do you protect these things? Well, trust. There's something that they call trust. Like, I trust you, you trust me, whatever. But in the engineering side, it will be more like or computer science side, I guess. Like, you have to make sure that your system has these three things. There are three aspects. There are confidentiality, authenticity, and integrity. Confidentiality means that I send you some data, nobody else can intercept it, that nobody else knows what I'm sending to you, right? Nobody else has access to it. Authenticity means that if I get something, some data, I can be sure that you sent it to me and not some other person intercepted it or did something and sent it to me. Like if I get an email from you, I have to be sure that it was you that sent me the email, right? That's authenticity. Integrity, that's the other aspect. It means that if you send me an email, with your transcript, or if you send me a transcript through the mail, integrity means that nobody intercepted the transcript and changed the numbers, the grades, and then put it back on the way, and then I got it with the wrong grades. So if integrity has been preserved, the grades have not been changed in this example. Right? So one of the things people protect data is through encryption, what they call encryption. So basically, it means like I get data, and then through some formulas, I just put it in another format that nobody can know what the data is. It just changes, like instead of an A, now you have a C, or that's a very simplistic example, but scrambles things around so that nobody can tell what it is, except if you have like some big number that you can use to decode the message. So one thing that we're working on here at UTSA is the hiding data in images, secret data, right? So basically the point when it comes to medical images will be the medical images are always in a format that is called DICOM format. Well, most of the time they're in DICOM format, which is a format kind of like JPEG and all of those, but it has basically it has the image, and then it has some patient information and also some information about the instrument that was used to capture the image. So that makes the systems compatible, so that you send me an image in DICOM format and I can understand what the image is because it's in DICOM format and I'm familiar with DICOM format, right? So basically, when it comes to data hiding, now people are trying to take all of that information about the patient and the instruments and all of that, and find a way to hide it into the image, camouflage, so that nobody can tell that it's there. And people are now hiding like patient records and stuff like that, like whole pages of records about the patient in the image. So basically, if somebody steals the image and distributes it to more people and says, oh, this image belongs to this person, those people won't be able to tell, because the name of the person is in the image, but it's hidden, it's encrypted, it's secretly hidden in there, so nobody can extract it except for the system. Right? Okay. So what are some of the problems that people are having, when doing this kind of hiding the secret data in the images? Well, the algorithms have to be robust. Robust means that it has to be able to withstand like some specific types of attacks or errors. They have to be robust to filtering. So if to filtering to compression. So basically, if somebody takes the image that has the patient's data secretly hidden on it and says, okay, I'm going to send it to someone else, but the image is huge, let me compress it with JPEG. So they compress it. And then you say, okay, well, basically the data, the hidden data should not disappear. It should stay there even after the image is compressed. So how do you do that? There's people investigating that. It's kind of there's a few techniques that allow you to do that. Also, if people add noise, to be able to compromise the data, the hidden data should be able to withstand that type of noise that they're adding to the image. If somebody rotates the image, the hidden data should not disappear. Like it should still remain there. If somebody scales the image, do it all the time, like I don't know, Paint, whatever. The hidden data should remain in the image. So translation, somebody moves the image a little bit. the hidden data should remain there. So you have to be able to deal with all of these things. Okay, so this is pretty much how it works. Like you hide the data in the image with some secret key. You lock it with a secret key, and then on the other side, the person who gets it, which is this right here, that person should be able to, if they have the secret key, they can decode the data. If they don't have it, then they shouldn't be able to access it. So I already explained some of these requirements, some of these challenges that people are having when hiding the data now. And as I said, most importantly, doesn't matter how you hide the data, but you should preserve the diagnostic power of the image. If the image looks like it has been modified, the doctor is not going to like it, because they should be able to diagnose, right? So the secret data should be relevant. It should be encrypted, like I mentioned. The original image should not be needed to be able to get the secret data out of the image that has been modified with the data that has been added. And it should be digitally signed by the sender. So in other words, digital signatures are pretty much just like regular signatures. You have a digital signature and you can tell that the person, you say the signature, you say, oh, it's the signature of that person. So he is the one who sent it to me. So that's, okay, so that's it. That's my presentation.
Yeah, thanks.